So hello, everyone, darling listeners. It is Emma Thompson here, calling you from Blighty, the shores of Great Britain. My microphone is propped up on, well, actually, one of the boxes has got my quite posh cards in that I recently invested in, which have my name in tiny little, really sort of delicate letters, and I felt it was sort of I just thought it was classy. Anyway, I may be wrong, of course, I often am. So the books are Truth and Repair by a woman called Judith L. Herman, author of Trauma and Recovery. You may be getting a sense here. Then there's Getting Over Your Parents, which is a very important book for anyone who is human. And then there's On Being Nice, which, of course, is a very important thing, but don't take it too far. That's what I always say. Oh, there was one other thing. Welcome to SmartLess.
SmartLess.
I'm an actor and I have to be on camera today. Oh,
Here, have you been working on your faces in the mirror all morning?
yes.
Yeah. Let's see surprise. Let's see surprise.
Whoa,
God,
great.
that's so good. That's
Now,
really
one with
good.
the mouth closed. One with the mouth closed. Still rolling. So, Sean, you shoot
That's
today,
how JB
huh?
directs.
Yeah, I do. Right after this, actually.
JB, is that how you direct actors?
Still rolling, and one with the mouth closed. Okay, good.
By the way,
don't look right at the camera. Don't look right at the camera. Still rolling.
Wait, by the way, I just got that note. I'm not even kidding. Sean, can you close your mouth in this scene?
No.
I swear to God.
No.
What was it? A
I
dialogue
swear to
scene?
God.
Did they just want you to stop?
Yeah, no,
stop
I was just
talking?
like, it's just like my character was like, I can't believe what you're saying. Like, I was just like, are you serious? Like, kind of, are you serious? So I was like, and she's like, can you do it with your mouth closed?
Could you do it with your mouth closed?
I tried really
But you're like,
hard.
I have dialogue. They're like, yeah, we know. Just mouth
Yeah, I'm
closed.
just prepping my mouth. Prepping my mouth to talk.
And you're going to go on background.
Yeah.
That's going to be your cue.
And just try thinking your lines on this take. Here we go, everybody.
Wait,
You know,
Jerry,
I was doing this scene once years ago, and Eli was there. We were in France, and I had to this long shot. I'm walking down the thing, and I get to the end, and Eli goes, "Bro, your legs are really wide apart. Okay, your gait's really wide." And I go, "Oh, okay." And then and I had to do it like 5 more times. The whole time, I'm just thinking about how I was walking.
Close your legs.
which is
No,
the
that's
worst.
the way. That's the way you walk. I could do your walk in 2 seconds.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I walk.
Oh
with
yeah,
a
you're a
wide
little
gait.
bow-legged. Yeah, like you just got off a horse.
Well, hang on.
It's
This
not-
is not an excuse to just
No,
pile on.
yeah.
I'm very vulnerable this
I
morning.
think I'm actually bow-legged. I don't think, Will, you're bow-legged. You just happen to swing your legs around one another when you walk forward.
it's because
as
they're
if-
long.
hips.
I have long legs.
You do have long legs. I was
Thanks,
thinking
man.
about you watching all the hockey this weekend with you
Yeah.
filling up that goal crease.
Yeah.
You know, you need a tall guy in there, right? Get that shoulder up into the high corners.
Well, back in the day when I played, it was much more about getting on the ground, stacking the pads,
oh, sure.
you know,
Stacking the pads.
instead of a
stack 'em.
butterfly.
So, Will, with you being a Toronto fan, are you keeping it with Canada and rooting for Montreal?
I sure am. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all the
All right.
way. Yeah.
And Sean, who's your pick to win this cup?
Between the two, between Canada and
Over there at the well, it looks like it's gonna be Vegas. Of course, we'll air. This will air afterwards, but it's pretty exciting.
Will used to. Well, a couple of years ago or 3 years ago, Will had me record my picks. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah, for the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so every week I would record the picks and why they would win.
Sean, I'm going to give you 3 guesses what the name of the team in Las Vegas is called.
Mm-hmm.
The hockey team.
Does it, okay, let me ask you this. Does it have something to do with the city itself?
It does not.
Yeah, it really doesn't.
Yeah, they're not called the Chips or the
or the Double
Cards.
Downs?
Yeah, no.
What about...
It's
or like
Elizabethan. I'll give you a hint. It's Elizabethan, or it's like...
Well, I mean,
couldn't
Kings,
it?
the
Isn't it?
Kings.
Very
that's
close.
That's close.
Very-
I mean, it could be any of those
The Golden Knights.
eras.
The Golden
Golden
Knights.
Knights.
Golden Knights.
The Golden
All right.
I
Knights.
tell you who's golden.
Oh, here he comes. Will's got a lunch
You guys,
date. Go ahead, Will.
like a segue?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she's golden in that. I mean, you know, she's obviously won 2 Golden Globe Awards and been nominated for like 11 or something.
Wow.
Yeah. and won 2 Academy Awards of the 5 that she's been nominated for.
Oh
gosh.
no! Wait a second. 5 nominations. That's
and Emmys. And in fact, she's the sole
Meryl
artist thus
Streep?
far to have received an Academy Award for both acting and screenwriting. Acting for Howard's
wait a
End,
minute.
screenwriting for Sense and Sensibility.
Emma Thompson.
Well, I bet
She's
Bring her
gonna,
on.
guys, it's just
Bring her
Emma
out.
Thompson. I can't even get into her credits. It's Emma Thompson.
Emma Thompson, no
Dame
way.
Emma
Hello.
Incredible.
Hello.
Hello.
Nice
Hello.
to see you. I
Oh.
literally didn't understand a word of any of that.
Yeah.
I love
Oh
the.
my God, 3 guys talking about hockey. It's fascinating.
I love your refugees on the floor in the background.
Yeah. Oh, can you see them?
Yeah, sure.
That's my daughter and her boyfriend. They can't hear you, which is just tragic because all they can hear is me, and they're used to me. So why? what
Why don't
reason
you
are
give
they?
them a chair
They're going
to
to go
sit
and
on?
sit outside. Oh, I don't think you can. Hey, they're going.
Now, where are you? Are you at their house or your house?
No, I'm in my office actually. I was looking behind Sean. He's got a very posh kind of array.
Well, you should see it when he stacks the
It's
awards
like,
back
there's,
there.
there's awards. There's like loads of statues and portraits and photos and
It's a
books.
mess.
And Jason's got like some sky. Which is good. And Will is
translate.
in deep darkness, which,
Yeah.
given the fact that he's giving us kind of vampire voice, it also works. You know, it's all making more and more sense.
Yeah.
Now, we were making fun of Sean the other day because he had one of his awards behind him, as
And I
people
moved it.
do for
Yeah.
some weird reason on their Zoom frame usually includes any awards that one may have won. You
But-
don't have any awards behind you, and you've won tons. Where
Yeah.
are they all?
Yeah, where are they?
The Oscars are in the lavatory because that just
really?
keeps them in their place. The Globes and the BAFTAs and all that are on a very high shelf somewhere where I can't see them. I don't know. I think that's very British.
We have a friend that has an award, and she keeps it in the bathroom as well, and puts the toilet roll on one of the extended
On it.
limbs.
It's a holder.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. That's taking it even further than me.
You know what? I think that maybe you ought to go the other way, which is have a table right in your foyer as you walk into your place with a spotlight.
Yeah.
And just lean lean into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they know what they're dealing with.
That's it. Or you just put them in the doorway, like just so that when people come in, they
Yeah.
just trip up over them.
yeah.
You go, I'm so sorry, this is my Oscars. Sorry. I'll just move
Right
them.
this way. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
it's fine.
on the
Do
floor.
come through. Do come through. Would you like to freshen up? Yeah, yeah. And then have copies of them in the toilet so they can't get away ever. And then another, just have them everywhere.
Yeah.
Until people just go, I need
Why
to
not
leave.
lean into it? I think that's a good idea.
Where is your office? Are you in England or New York or Los Angeles?
I'm so in England,
Yeah.
but it doesn't feel like it today. Everyone is experiencing a trauma, a London trauma. So I'm in London, North London, where I've lived all my life. I've lived on this street since I was 6 years old. So that's 61
That's
years.
cool.
Yeah, weird, quite weird. Anyway, suddenly we got a heat wave, which obviously has nothing to do with climate change.
No, it's all a hoax.
Why would we even suggest that? But it's 35 degrees in London. And,
Which is what is
things
that?
are
That's
just
about 90
dying
something?
in front of you.
Yeah.
Pets, household appliances, flour, everything is just wilting. It's like, Dracula's walked into the town.
And there's not
because
a
we
lot of air
can't cope.
conditioning
We
either,
just
right?
can't. We don't know. We don't have air conditioning here.
Right.
They're ridiculous.
Or ice.
We have 3 hot days a year.
Or ice.
But they're 36 degrees.
or
Yeah,
ice.
or ice.
Right?
Yeah, although that's coming.
Emma, why is that? Now
That's coming.
why is it
Oh, yeah.
that
It's in the works.
Why is it that Europe, on the whole, has somehow sort of all made a consensus
Yeah,
decision?
take on Europe on this.
That carbonated drinks don't taste better with ice cubes. I
Yeah.
mean, it seems pretty clear that they do. That
Yeah.
it's just objectively true, right? But yet you have to ask for ice with a soda. I sound like an ugly American here. I apologize.
No, you're
but
just obsessed with ice. Americans have always been obsessed with ice.
When I used to,
You're obsessed with it. I'm sorry,
true.
but you are. When I first arrived in America and ice was just brought, you were practically put in a fucking ice bath when
We
you
were
arrived.
so excited
Get
about
in the
it.
ice. Get in the ice. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. Everything came with ice. Chicken parmesan came with ice. I'm like, what's going on here? This is mad.
That's really
You're
funny.
like obsessed with it. And we don't have that obsession because we don't have probably as much money and our refrigerators are not as big and they don't produce ice. We all get fridges that say they produce ice and within a week they've broken down.
So what do you do to beat the heat?
You just lie face down on the pavement, panting,
Stay
hoping
still.
that some dog will come and whittle on you and cool you down. I mean, we don't have.
But here's the thing:
methods.
you just take it. We don't need to always be in our perfect comfort zones at all times.
No.
That's the whole point of life. There are things that
Right.
happen. There are days where you're hot and you deal with it, and there are days that are cold. But it is true that in this country, I'm Canadian, by the way, Emma. So
I know
I'm with
you're
you.
Canadian,
Yeah.
Will, darling.
Okay.
But I think you guys are used to extreme temperatures and we live in a temperate zone.
Yes.
And we're really not used to it. And now because of climate change, look at my face. I mean, I'm the same color as one of the stripes in my shirt. It's tragic. But, it's like we're just not used to it. And it's really weird,
Yeah.
actually. It's
because
so
it's happening.
hot.
It's happened. How was it last summer? Last summer it was super hot there too, right? Europe had a
Yeah,
huge heat
super
wave.
hot. Super
so
hot.
hot.
And I
Sean
was
was
traveling
there.
on the tube. Were you there?
I was
Sean?
there last summer.
He
It
was doing his
so
play.
hot.
He was doing his play.
Oh,
in
man.
London.
It was so hot.
It was, and like to everybody's point, there's no air conditioning. We were staying in a place that had air conditioning, but we were rehearsing in a place that was like a greenhouse with no
Oh,
air.
God, yeah.
And then what about the
Yeah,
theater,
yeah.
Sean? Did the theater have air
Yeah, what about
conditioning?
No air
theater.
conditioning in the theater.
No.
What?
No, there's
Swear to
no
God.
air conditioning in our theatres
Come on.
because we've never needed it before and we haven't adapted yet to climate change. We
I
haven't.
want to, Emma. You're talking about taking the tube. What's your experience like when you take the tube? Are you, as in London, are you approached constantly and mobbed by people asking you
No.
questions? And no.
No, not at all. Nobody takes any notice on the tube. They're all looking at their phones.
Yeah.
But my guess is that when they do recognize you, it's something very charming and respectful, and they say which movie that they love and stuff. Like she's a respected actor as opposed to like a celebrity. Like you see a celebrity out, it's like a giraffe has escaped the zoo, and you got to get a picture of it
Yes,
on your
it's
phone.
a different thing.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
I'm very lucky, I think, because it's the same in Europe. People have a relationship with, I don't know what it's like for you guys, but you must have this, Jason, that people have a relationship with a particular role that you might have played, or maybe a couple. And we've done lots and lots of different things. So I think if, for instance, you're sort of an action hero, I can imagine that for somebody like, I don't know, Schwarzenegger or Stallone or Bruce Willis, then there's a very specific response every single time.
Right.
But for me, I can pass, not necessarily unnoticed, but certainly it's never been an issue, actually.
What's your least favorite kind of interaction with a fan, like when you're with your family or I mean, because it's like there's some I always get embarrassed if it ever causes like a scene. In other words, grabs the attention of others that might not otherwise know who I am or notice it. It's great when it's just sort of mellow and quiet and passing, right?
Yes, I mean, it's lovely, and people will just pass you and still keep walking.
Yeah.
They go, love your work, bye.
Yeah.
It's lovely. But when you're sort of buying sausages with your daughter, you don't really want them to come up and go, can I have a selfie? Selfies are interesting, aren't they? How do you guys feel about those?
Right. Well,
How do you
it's
feel
also,
about do you feel that they're intrusive at all? What do you think?
Well, no, but I what I have noticed is that in the old days it used to be autographs, and if you didn't have a piece of paper or a pen, then it was just, hey, nice to meet you, and like your work, and it was a nice. But now everybody's got a phone, so even if you don't want an autograph, right, / picture, you still sort of feel obligated. Well, I better take this, and so people kind of line up a little bit. And anyway, I don't mean to sound like I'm complaining.
Do you ever say no?
No, never.
Never?
And I've been with people.
I don't either.
I mean, never is probably. I'm sure I have, but I don't.
I do when I'm with the kids sometimes. If I'm with the kids or with the little kids, and if it's an adult asking, I'll say no. I've never said no to a kid.
Right. I have said that. I have said that.
But I've said sometimes.
I'm the same, Will. I wouldn't ever say no to a child, but sometimes if I'm with the family, I'll say, "Would you mind awfully?" I'm with my family. And what's so interesting to me is that every time I have said no, and it's quite rare, people have taken it so well because they seem completely to understand.
Mm-hmm.
So in a way, I feel like they know what they're asking for, that what they're asking for is a little bit it's a lot to take a photograph with somebody.
I have some famous friends that they say no all the time. They never say yes. And it makes me so uncomfortable. That they're like, I just feel like that's
because it's such
nasty.
an easy give in a way.
Right.
It's an easy give.
Have you ever gotten, hey, can I get a picture really quick? And then they hand you the camera? Because that's happened to me.
Many
Right.
times.
They want you to take a picture of them
and
with
their
their
family.
friends.
Yeah.
Many times. I've also many times got, oh my God, and then they say the name of a completely different actress. So I have the choice. I either say, yes, I am so-and-so, I would love to give you a photograph, or I say, I'm 20 years younger, or I say, oh, I'm 20 years older, or I say, no, she's dead, actually. But then I just kind of move gently on through.
You know what's funny? The other day I was sitting in a restaurant and I had 2 interactions in a row back to back. First of all, I had a woman come over and say, and I was sitting with my sister and my brother-in-law and our buddy Eli, Canadian Eli, and he said, this woman said, so sorry to bother you, and I know that you're eating, and then proceeded to sit down on the bench next to me.
No.
And begin a conversation. At which point I was like, well, you're not that bothered.
No.
Did you grab a fry?
Then she left, and then this other woman came over and she said, my friend is a fan, but I'm sorry, what's your name? And Eli goes, Jason Bateman. She said, thank you so much. And she walked away. JB, I forgot to tell you that. It was so good. It was so good.
Oh,
Funny.
I had a really wonderful one. I was in Harry's Bar in Venice, which is, the original Harry's Bar, and it was very nice. It was years and years ago, and a woman came up. She was in the other room, and she kept on peeling off these massive smiles and grins at me and waving. And I thought, okay, so she must know my work. That seems fair enough. I'm in Venice. It's the festival, blah. Anyway, she came over as she was leaving and said, I'm so happy to see you in here. I said, oh, thank you. Thinking, why? And then she said, I still wear those shoes. I wear them all the time. I love them. You were so right. I was wrong and you were right. And I'm thinking, shoes. And then she said, you remember, I'm staring at her thinking, I can't work this one out. I haven't made a film about shoes. Have I? Anyway, she said, you remember the 5th floor in Barney's? So she thought that I'd sold her a pair of shoes in the shoe department at Barney's. And she was thrilled to see me in Harry's Bar because clearly that meant I was doing quite well for myself.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? That I was like I was in the same arena as a woman who buys shoes on the 5th floor at Barney's.
Right.
And that gave her pleasure. And she needed to convay that to me, which was very kind, I thought, actually. And I said, I'm so glad they still fit.
Good for you.
Right.
Now, Emma, do you miss Barney's like I miss Barney's?
I do.
Yeah.
I miss
Sorry,
Barney's
I
a
really
lot.
do. I
We
know
were
that's
just talking about it the
shallow.
other day. I miss it so much.
We're admitting to terrible shallowness, but I do. I
But
really
no,
do.
but I mean,
By the way, both New York and LA.
I'm sad.
I miss
Yeah.
them both.
Yeah, both places.
Yeah.
I loved those places. I loved
too.
them.
What happened to it?
What happened?
how would it go belly up? it's because people shop online now, right? Is that
I
right?
guess.
Yeah. Everything.
I used to go to the shoe, right? Direct to the shoe department at the bar.
Right.
Definitely.
Oh no! Just walk in
immediately.
that men's. So you walk in the back way there on like what is that? Like 59th Street. You can walk in that back door.
Oh, I was
just
talking
go,
about Los
And there was one
Angeles.
downtown too.
Well, the original on 17th Street.
Yeah.
It's, yeah. God,
Oh,
it's so
guys,
good.
keep saying
Guys.
numbers. Say numbers more. Oh.
And we will be right back.
And now back to the show.
Wait, Emma. So listen, let's go back. Let's go back. I love
Let's start the interview. Let's
I know,
have
this
questions.
is where the interview
questions for our
You guys,
guests.
Emma's here.
Emma.
Bill.
We're the worst interviewers
Hi.
of all time. I'm so sorry,
Yeah.
and you're
You really
realizing
are.
that in real time, and your regret is evident. So I didn't know that you were that you started. But you were in the acclaimed Footlight sketch group at Cambridge, which has seen a lot of great performers. So you have a history of sketch comedy, which is so amazing.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I did that for years.
Would that be like the British Lampoon type of thing?
sort of. Yeah, it's an equivalent to sort of the Lampoon in a way ish,
that makes
but it's more of a sketch.
But you know, it's like SNL. SNL is basically what I would think of as review.
Right.
So
Okay.
back in the day, in the early part of the 20th century, review was huge in our country, and it was basically a collection of sketches, songs, just a kind of review.
Like a variety show.
A variety show, yes. And that's what we did. It's completely dead now. We don't have review anymore. But SNL is a form of review. It really is. It's sketches and songs and
It's in
music,
England
and it's little bites. And I started doing that absolutely with Hugh Laurie and
Stephen Fry.
Stephen Fry.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Did it for years. In fact, I was going to be a comedian. That was what I wanted to be because I admired Lily
I
Tomlin
never knew that.
so greatly.
She's
Oh
great.
my gosh.
And Jane Wagner,
Yeah.
the signs of intelligent life
Yeah,
in the
saw it.
universe, all
Yeah.
of her beautiful characters.
Yeah, incredible.
I loved that. That's what I wanted to do for a living.
But you are still doing it because anytime there's a character that lends itself even slightly to comedy, you take that and you expand that, and you're always freaking hilarious whenever you
have
choose to be.
excellent timing.
That
I will say.
beautiful British
Excellent.
dryness.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah.
it's
Well,
so
I mean,
good.
I was going to ask you. I mean, these guys are going to make fun of me, but I'm a massive Harry Potter fan. And,
Oh, no kidding.
And you,
show
and
us,
you
the,
as-
show
you
us
as-
the wand.
I wish I had it. I really do have one. But but you as Professor Sybil, right? Professor
Sybil
Sybil.
Trelawney, yeah.
Yeah, that was.
She said, fatigued.
Speaking about like characters and like Lily Tomlin and Jane and all those things that Lily Tomlin. When I saw that, it was such and this is a compliment, such a big character in a world that has big characters. With you guys, if you haven't seen it, she has like Coke bottle glasses, like literally this thick that make her eyeballs this big, and she's neurotic and she gets possessed, and it's such an incredible character. How did you trust that your choice to come in on the first day? We talk about this a lot on the show.
With a huge swing.
Which a huge swing was going to be. How did you trust that? You know what I mean?
You don't really, do
And how
you?
did you come up with the character
Well, it's written in the books.
that she has those
in J.K. Rowling's
glasses?
books, yeah. That
I
I think she's definitely nearly blind, can't see anything, and obviously deeply neurotic because she can see sometimes whether people are, have the grim or not.
Right.
So, I mean, honestly, in my quite long career, given the fact that I'm good 10 years older than all of you guys, I have done many, many parts, and I've spent about 30 days on Harry Potter in my whole life, So
Right.
it's kind of a strange thing to talk
Wow.
about because it's become such this huge phenomenon.
Right.
And that's a lot of the time. That's what people are very sort of drawn to that.
People stop you. I mean, I've also seen Saving Mr. Banks like 20 times, and I've seen Sense and Sensibility and
good. I'm
Remains
so
of the
glad.
Day.
No, I wasn't getting at you.
Yeah.
It's just that
Just to make sure.
you know what it's like, guys. When you decide to play someone, you just have to fling yourself into it, don't you?
Yeah.
Head first, and hope that your instincts are right.
Yeah.
Well, there's always that thing because we talk about that idea. I always say it's like when you first arrive and you're doing something, you've made a sort of a choice, and you want to make sure that you're not at a different volume than everybody else, especially if you come in the middle.
That's what I'm
you
saying.
know, you know what I mean? And you're like,
Yeah. That's true.
Is this, you know?
Yeah. Am I in a different movie?
Yeah, am I in a different movie? I came in, I did something this winter, and I sort of came in. They'd been working for a while, and I thought like, oh boy, and I had a real look going, and I thought had a real.
What was the look, Will? What was the look?
He's sort of like a retired rocker, and he's sort of down on his luck. And Pedro Pascal comes in, and he's my brother, and I just like, and I sort of worked on it with the director, with Tony Gilroy, and I thought, okay, this is it. But at the same time, I thought like, you know, that first moment, like, here we go, guys, and we're rolling. I'm like, boy, this better work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so
But
scary.
at least Tony had seen it.
Yes,
you guys
he had.
talked about it.
We had
like,
talked about it, but still, we hadn't done it. Do you know what I
Right.
mean?
So you
Like,
don't get to rehearse like us. It's quite rare, isn't it, in film that you get
Yeah.
to rehearse?
Yeah.
Whereas in theatre,
It's all you do.
you know, it's all about rehearsal.
Yeah.
All about rehearsal.
I love it.
So it's sometimes I think it's a shame we don't get enough rehearsal in film.
Yeah.
But you know, again, it's a very mysterious business, filming.
It is.
You never know what's going to come out, and the camera's so odd, don't you think? Bit of a sort of witchy presence, I find.
Well, you also have that thing when you say, you know, when you finish something and you go, and people say, "How was it?" And you're like, "I don't know." Yeah, you know that's sort of in that period of sort of waiting. And JB, obviously, when you're in post and you're putting a film together, you're living with it. It's breathing with you all the time, and so like you have a sense of it, but everybody else kind of goes away.
yeah, there really is always. Emma, you've done some directing. Yes, no,
No,
No?
I've never directed. No.
Have you not?
No.
Why did I feel like you had a couple of times? But there is
Why
just
why
that,
haven't you? Let's press her.
Emma, can you check that you haven't?
Yeah, check. We'll wait.
I've interfered a massive amount. That's not directing, though. That's just taking part in a slightly upsetting way. I, especially with, I suppose, with the films with children in, I've spent a lot of time with the children because that's important. And the films I've made for young people, I always consider children to be the sacred audience.
Yeah.
They're the people we need to make the best of our work for, because
And they don't lie.
It's the first time that they see something. It needs to be so good.
God, you've done so many things over so many genres. When you're speaking of like the children's films and stuff, and so many things, and I watched within the last year a film that you did a few years ago. God, probably 10 years ago, but it's based on one of my favorite books of all time, which is Alone in Berlin.
Oh my God, you saw that. You were like one of
Of course,
three people.
I love that book. Was incredible to me, and then I
I
watched
love
the
that book. It's just such an amazing book.
It's one of the best second halves of a book I've ever read. It's just mesmerizing. And so then I realized I made a film. And so I didn't know that you had made that film. And I watched it. It was beautiful. It was lovely. It's such a great story.
Is it a World War II story?
It is.
Yeah.
It's almost a piece of like resistance art in a way. The book is and the film. And how do you, because you do these things across so many different genres, like how do you decide to do like a film like Alone in Berlin, let's say, but just for instance, is it always just material based, or how you're feeling like at a certain time in your life, and you're like, I want to do something that's kind of moodier, or how do you go about that process?
I think you're right. I think it's a little bit like meeting the right person at the right time, or reading the right book at the right time. Things come to you at moments when perhaps you need them. I think as artists, sometimes we need to play certain things. It's just coming at us. I mean, I think it's all sort of out there, moving around us all the time. And then things pass us by and we think, oh, I wish I could have, oh, well, actually, no, that was wrong. And then something comes in and hits us right in the center of us. And you go, I really want to tell that story now. And sometimes you don't know why, but I always know if it's something I want to do. I always know, and it's not something I could quantify in any useful way. It's literally something will come across my path, and I go, oh, that's a wonderful story. I mean, Alone in Berlin is. I mean, I'm kind of slightly obsessed with both wars, actually, because I think they left traumas in our country, in the UK, that have never really been healed or addressed. And so Alone in Berlin, for me, is just this beautiful... I mean, the book is incredible. If you haven't read it, do. It's Hafner, isn't it? It's his pseudonym, isn't it, Will? Sebastian Hafner.
Hans Fallada?
Hans Fallada,
Yeah.
and his actual name is perhaps the other
Yeah,
one.
I get that when it
Sean,
when it
you can
come-
go get a
speak-
snack, bud.
Three Stooges, right, Sean? When that came,
Yeah.
Emma, have you ever taken apart a character, said yes to it because that character has sort of a personality trait that you are thinking seriously about expanding in your own life, and this might be a fun way to kind of play a little bit with that and try it on and maybe incorporate some of it at the end if it goes well? Kind of because I've done that a couple of times.
That's really interesting.
really, like you're like, I want to be like, I'm going to play this
Yeah, I'd
smarty
like-
pants because
I'd like to be a little bit more like how I'm kind of reading this character in this script, and this would be a kind of an easy little cheat to
is that
try it on.
DTF? Is that DTF?
Yeah. But like, yeah, sometimes it's for the director or the story or the other cast or whatever, but then sometimes it's I kind of always wanted to be kind of like that, and maybe I'll try a little bit here. Have you ever done that?
I think I did that with Down Cemetery Road. I did a telly recently. It's a series called Down Cemetery Road, which is a quote from a Philip Larkin poem. And it's a Mick Herron book. It's the Slow Horses group. And I think I mean, not only do I love the author, but the character, she's sort of my age, probably grew up in London during the slightly seamy 60s. I mean, as a child in the 60s, I think about my childhood in London, how really close to the end of the war that was. I mean, I was born in 1959, so it's 14 years after the end of the Second World War. It's nothing really. It's like a blink of an eye. And therefore...
You're still rebuilding.
Yeah. Oh, God, yes, absolutely. And still, to a certain extent, a little bit of... not having quite enough to eat, and it was, I think, quite dark, probably, which is, one of the reasons why Alone in Berlin was interesting for me as well. But I think that this character, Zoe, is not a good girl. I was brought up to be very good, very obedient, very, not in a bad way, but in a way that I think that many, many girls in my culture are brought up to be always lovely and kind and loving and emollient and accepting and tolerant. And I think that whilst there is a place for that in both sexes, it is not appropriate for it to be just women who do that. And nor is it sometimes appropriate for them to do it at all. Right. So, actually, this woman doesn't do it in any way. She just, she's a very releasing sort of character because she's unapologetic and certainly not polite.
Right.
And whilst she has kindness, certainly, and empathy inside her, she uses it very judiciously and not, as it were, just as a kind of scattergun technique to avoid conflict or being judged for not being, a nice woman.
Sure.
Does she weaponize it?
What do you mean?
Like uses it like it's calculated the way it's used, or no?
No, it's quite natural. It's quite natural. It's not really it's just an instinct. She's just
like, I always feel when
managed.
Sean's being kind to me, he's just manipulating me. You know what I mean?
Well, that's
100%.
true, I think. Yeah. I mean, I think you're right about that, clearly.
Wait, Emma, you grew up, I was just thinking, so both as you talk about this, and both your parents, if I'm, correct me if I'm wrong, were actors. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So so you grew up, like, this is a sort of you grew up in the family biz in a way. Is that right?
Yes, I did. but it was the family business of theatre.
Yeah.
So my parents grew up at a time when there really was no television. So they expected, naturally, as actors. My father was working class from a southern town in our Guildford, had not very much education, was very self-taught, decided to become an actor and leave that patch. I mean, he was a proper leaver of everything that he came from. You know, his mother, my grandmother, was a servant. She went into service when she was 16 years old. And indeed, one of her children was born out of wedlock because she was raped by one of her employers. So her journey as a mother with these 4 children was really quite dramatic. And Dad got out and went into the theatre and met my mother, who's from Scotland, very different culture and background, Presbyterian, Scottish Presbyterian, so very, puritanical, actually.
Yeah.
One can't really avoid that, even though she's never been able to resist good wine, which is excellent. But, you know, I did grow up in this very interesting sort of combination. But they did theatre and they expected to do Shakespeare in the provinces and then radio. And then television arrived. We didn't have a television until I was, 8, and it was black and white. Mm-hmm. You know, we didn't do that. We didn't have that. And now it's so different.
Yeah.
It's kind of indescribably strange,
Yeah.
actually.
You mean the
now.
amount of content that's out there to distract you by?
The breadth of it all, sort of, in a way.
Yeah. The amount that must be produced.
Right.
What was your policy with your kids? Did you were you someone that was screens are okay, television's okay, iPads are okay,
No.
or were you like, no,
No.
it's reading, or it's piano lessons, or it's because I grew up in one of those households, very, very disciplined. Although there was plenty of TV too. It was kind of a combo.
It was a good combo, I think. We told my daughter the television was broken, which she believed for at least 8 years.
Still
and
broken.
that worked. It's still broken. And then she danced in at the age of about 9 and said, "I've mended it." She just found the sodding remote. Anyway, and we didn't allow her to have a phone until she was at secondary school at the age of 13.
Yeah, smart.
So iPads, oh God, sometimes when we were driving, we live in Scotland as well, we were driving to Scotland and an iPad was a wonderful thing.
You need
and
it.
you could
Yeah,
put a
it's
film
a core-
on. And then they
feel
could
guilty.
watch a film,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
actually I don't feel guilty about. If it's a good film,
Sure.
Yes.
it's a lovely way to spend 2 hours. Because I used to be stuck in the car for 8 hours as we were driving to Scotland with nothing to do but stare at the lamppost going by and do terrible sort
But
of...
it's good for the imagination, though. It's really good. Think about all
It's
those
true,
hours.
and boredom's good for the imagination as
I
well,
know.
Will.
Why I'm friends
We've
with
lost
Sean.
our
That's why
relationship
I'm
with
friends with
being
Sean.
bored.
Managing boredom is a talent everybody
Okay,
needs.
here's my question to all of you. When was the last time you were actually bored?
This weekend.
Really?
Why?
How?
Well, just because I was inside the whole time. It was raining, and I ran out of good TV. I had done all my homework, and But then, guess what happens? You get truly relaxed. I really
Yeah.
feel like true relaxation lives somewhere next door to boredom. And that's when naps happen, and clarity of mind, and all your priorities get in the right order, and you can think about what's like. It's a great managing boredom, embracing boredom, seeing the virtues of boredom is something that I just don't think my kids, their generation understands or is friends with. They can't even ride an elevator without looking at their phone.
Yeah,
or sit
yeah,
at a
yeah,
red light.
Constant stimulation.
Yeah.
I've actually said to both my sons at various points, you cannot walk down the stairs looking at your phone.
Yeah.
That has to be something that is independent of your phone. This is absurd. But I will say, you know what? I was talking about this with a friend recently. I'm never bored. Like even if I'm just sitting there, I don't know why. I never feel bored.
Right. I don't mean it as a pejorative. I
No,
just
I know.
feel like it's like you're not, we're all so, I think most people in the world today are highly functioning, like we're just like trained to manage 50 different things at the same time just because it's just sort of global productivity. But there is a great
God, you're always talking about productivity. It's unbelievable.
It's so
You
wanna be
never shy
productive.
away from productivity. Sean, I was just thinking, Sean, I wonder when you hear Emma talk about growing up in
Sean.
the theater and her parents. Hi, Sean. By the way, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm such big fans.
Do you wish, in a way, when you hear about people who grew up in the theater and stuff, do you feel, knowing how much you enjoy that, do you ever feel like, oh, I wish I'd grown up in that kind of environment?
Yeah, all the time.
Do you?
Well, even Jason,
It just occurred to me.
growing up around Hollywood and in it, or Emma growing up in it, what?
When did it start for you, Sean? It was high school, right?
Yeah, high school, junior high. I worked backstage. I worked the light, not the lights. It was just one light, and
One switch.
Yeah, it was one switch. Seriously, it was on and off, and it was.
We got our guy. Got our guy.
I was like, I think I can do that, and it was Calamity Jane, the musical Calamity Jane.
Oh, yeah.
And that was junior high, and then high school, and then I was nervous about telling my family I was in theater because it wasn't associated with sports, and I thought, what were they going to think? And so my oldest brother was like, "Hey, dude, it's okay, bro. Like I play football. I have makeup on underneath my eyes, the black marks underneath my eyes, just like you wear makeup." And I was like, "Oh, that's really sweet." And then other things happened, but
Well, let's not get into that.
No. But yeah, I always, I don't know that I love to do it anymore. I mean, the grind of theater is something, right, Emma, that you just have to, the repetition on your body and your brain is something you kind of have no choice but to outgrow because of the endurance.
We'll be right back.
And back to the show.
What was the last theater production you were a part of, Emma? Because you've done so many.
Well, I haven't actually. I've mostly done film, but the last thing I did was something we were talking earlier about things that you just can't say no to. They asked me to do Sweeney Todd. Steve Sondheim's Sweeney Todd with Bryn Terfel, and we did it with the New York Philharmonic at the Lincoln Center.
Wow.
We did 5 performances there, and then we did 2 weeks at the Dominion here. And that,
when was this?
How cool.
It was 10 years ago, maybe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and
You'd be great, and I'm sure you were
oh my
phenomenal.
God,
It's
it
a
was
perfect
just
part for you.
Absolutely. You mean the psychotic, woman
Careful,
who
Sean.
kills people and
Careful,
puts
Sean.
them into
Walk it back, Sean. Quick,
pies?
no, but quick.
The
Sean.
perfect. Oh
You got to
my
let Sean
God.
finish, Emma.
No, the comedy of it. I'm sure you nailed it.
No, I'm sure I went way too far. But anyway, the point was we were on stage with the New York Philharmonic, and one of the things that really I loved about it was the sort of cross-pollination of different art forms, that you had a whole orchestra on stage that you could act with. So, you were acting while the timpanist was behind you making these amazing noises, and they loved it as well. The orchestra adored it because you were in amongst them. And I think that we silo music, classical music in particular, and acting in the theatre, which sometimes can just make people feel a little bit superior, which is not the case. It's just acting
She's
in the
looking right
theatre.
at you, Sean.
And then there's then television acting, which is television acting. You've got to be really clever with the camera. So if you're a good actor, you're a good actor, you're a good actor, whatever you're doing.
Right.
I love
I
that.
can't bear all that snobbery, which was very much alive when my parents were coming up. So yeah, I that was the last thing I did, and it was an amazing feeling. I don't know whether you guys have ever had this, but when you do something that uses every single cell of you, nothing is left behind. You know how you can come on, particularly to do a job that's a short job and you're doing a small part or a cameo role, and you're using a tiny little bit of your palette, and you have to be careful not to overdo it. That's very much to your point, Sean, about Professor Trelawney. It had to be a very specific small thing, and it had to be right, but it had to be big as well. But this had to be right, it had to be enormous, and it used absolutely everything I had.
Right.
I had such a wonderful time doing it, but my God,
That's
it took
exhausting.
me 9 months to learn it.
Yeah.
And then I did it for like 30 performances.
Yeah, I hear Sondheim is almost as difficult as Shakespeare, right?
Sometimes.
I mean,
I would
you've got the
say.
music part of it as well.
yeah, finding
right?
those notes and those chords is really hard.
I would say harder than Shakespeare. Shakespeare makes it easy for us. He's like a wonderful old sailing boat you can get into and just sail into the sunset.
Really?
Because he's so reliable.
Well, speaking of writing, I mentioned that you're the only.
I know,
you're
I
the
didn't
only
know you wrote.
performer to have won for acting and writing, and you wrote Sense and Sensibility. And how did
did
that
not
happen?
know that.
Because I didn't know that either, and so it's
I
delightful to
adapted
know.
it. Jane Austen wrote it.
Yeah. No,
I
but-
plagiarized
No,
mercilessly.
Yeah. Oh, it's not original. No. How did that happen with the great Ang Lee, right? Directed
With the great Ang Lee. Actually, it happened kind of interestingly because, I used to do comedy. That was my thing. That's what I wanted to do. And I was very lucky because I worked with a wonderful comedy producer. He produced the first all-black comedy series in the UK, Desmond's. And he worked with an awful lot of black and Asian and female comedians. He was... I suppose, quite revolutionary in that sense. And I made a comedy series with him. And one of the sketches I wrote was about a young woman coming back from her honeymoon to see her mother with something on her mind. And she starts to talk to her mother about a small little woodland hairy creature that lives in her husband's lap, that he's drawn attention to on several occasions, and that appears to be attached and also changes shape sometimes, so that she just doesn't want to touch or have anything to do with. And so the sketch is about sexual ignorance. So it's a feminist sketch about the fact that women weren't allowed to know about sex, but then they were just sent off into the wild. They were married off without any kind of help whatsoever. And can you imagine coming across a penis for the first time and then seeing it become erect in front of your very eyes and not know what it was?
Right.
That's what we put people through.
Right.
Anyway, so the sketch was about that, and I think it was quite funny. And our producer, Lindsay Duran, the extraordinary Hollywood producer who actually started her work with Spinal Tap, literally one of my favorite films ever.
Sure.
Yeah, for sure.
So she wrote to me and said, "I've seen your sketch about the Victorian penis. I wonder if you would fancy adapting a Jane Austen novel." I thought, interesting segue.
Yeah.
Wow. I said, well, I'll give it a go. So I gave it a go.
You
Amazing.
sure gave it a go.
Amazing.
Now, what about other screenplays afterwards? Forgive my ignorance. Is that something that
No,
you...
not at all. I've written.
been forgiving your ignorance for a
written
minute.
loads that haven't been made, actually. But I've written a couple of kids' films. One called the Nanny McPhee, who's a
Yeah,
strange,
Sure.
That was huge.
sort of warty, witchy woman. Actually, we've spent 10 years writing the musical of that, which is coming into the West End next year.
No way.
Excited about
Wow. Who wrote the music for that?
Absolutely. Gary Clark, who wrote the music for Sing Street, which was a lovely, sort of beautiful Irish film. So he's one of those people who just can write songs. He spent years and years in Nashville, and you just think about the music industry, it's just amazingly full of these people who he was in a band and it was kind of going, but he didn't like the fame, he didn't like the glare, so he retreated and started to write songs. And he's written songs with, so many of the greats. He's just a wonderful songwriter. And we have written about 1 billion songs, cut 1 billion songs. We've been writing it for so long.
That's
I gave him a couple of touchstones. I said, think Tom Waits' Swordfish Trombone. And also, do you know a gang called the Tiger Lilies? They're quite
Yeah.
heard of them.
Yeah, that was the kind of thing. I was like a Victorian steampunk, slightly dark, a little bit on the circus side, but not, like dark.
That sounds great.
So that's what we've been doing.
Well, I
That's
can't
really
wait.
cool. I
Very
can't
nice.
wait. Yeah, I can't wait for that.
I would be remiss if we didn't mention your new project, The Sheep Detective.
The Sheep Detective. What is that about?
No, that's Craig
Craig
Mazin wrote that.
Mazin,
The great Craig
Craig Mazin.
Mazin.
Oh, yeah.
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 I love Craig.
JB, your old buddy.
He wrote Chernobyl.
Yeah.
He's such a wonderful, wonderful man. And then
He's
he adapted a book where, it's about a shepherd who gets murdered and his sheep solve the crime. I mean, that's it. That's the log line. You just go, yes, I'll be in it. I'll play a sheep. I'll play anything. I'll play a broom. I'll play anything.
Yeah.
Because it's such a good premise.
And this is it's starring Hugh Jackman.
Sounds like a great yarn. Guys, sorry.
Nice.
Sorry.
Nice.
No, it's
good.
not nice.
I noticed that.
No.
Thank you.
No.
I hear this is a really, really good film that parents would like as well. Because it is made for the kids, right?
It's you and the delightful Hugh Jackman. Is that right?
Yeah.
Am I right about that?
Yeah.
Did you have to work with? You have to work with some photorealistic animals, or is it
Photorealistic actors.
No,
I was only on it for about 3 weeks. I'd just done a thriller in Finland, and and then I was going onto the telly, so I sort of kind of dropped in for 3 weeks with this lovely bunch of folk, and that it was gorgeous.
Yeah, it sounds like a gorgeous type of location, right? Where'd you shoot that?
Oh God, now you're asking me. I mean, it was in England.
It was in
and
England,
actually
okay.
we shot the second Nanny McPhee in the same village because it's a kind of picture perfect village. And I can't remember what it's called. Hambledon.
Well, most importantly,
I think it's called Hambledon. Actually, I think I've actually remembered that, which is a fucking miracle. Given that I'm literally 175 degrees here.
Yeah. Now
my brain's boiling.
Was it close enough to your house where you could sleep in your own bed, or did you have to stay?
No, not. No.
Okay, so you had to
that
live
never
on location.
happens.
Never.
No.
You know what I love about England, staying in an English hotel, especially a small English hotel, is an English breakfast. I adore an English breakfast.
Who doesn't?
Which is what? Well, there's different kinds. So, Will, what do you get? You like the little sausages?
I don't. I shy away from the black puddings, but I like
What's
eggs
black
and sausage.
pudding? I've never had black pudding.
Yeah, what's in a black
Haven't
pudding?
you, Sean?
Molasses?
It's pig's blood.
No.
No,
Really?
it's not.
It's congealed.
It is. It's pig's blood mixed up with various sort of spices and grains.
Oh, my God.
It's like
Look at
haggis
Jason's
because I'm half Scottish, and a haggis is a sheep's stomach, and
Oh, my
the
God.
sheep's stomach is filled with all the sort of offal, which is all chopped up with various bits of. Did somebody just make a sheep noise? Oh my God! And
Well, why do we have these kinds of foods over there?
Yeah,
Is it
pig
because
blood.
it's
Does it
because
taste
we
good?
were poor.
Well, the
We were
country's
poor.
so old that you had to figure out how to make stuff you could eat out of what was available, right? This is before,
But also, you didn't waste anything.
right?
So if you killed a cow, you ate its fucking stomach as well.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
tongue
The only
and
thing
the
you didn't
whole-
eat was its hair,
Yeah. Yeah.
and its horns. You had to work out how, if you had an animal and you killed it, because you don't forget, it's really quite recent that the country's, I suppose Scotland in particular, was poor, very poor.
Yeah.
Until recently, and in many areas is still poor.
Yeah.
Now, do you the longest I've ever spent in England is just recently last year for like 3 or 4 months.
What were you doing over there, Sean?
Do you get Emma? Are you as entranced still by the charm of the country and everything around it in the history, or are you just kind of like it is what it is, and yep, there's Big Ben, there's the thing. I'm so used to it that it's hard to appreciate it anymore, or do you still feel like wow?
Oh no, I'm much more entranced than I was when I was young.
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, I just adore it. I'm a Londoner, but I'm also a Scot. So my mother's Scottish. So for me, the most beautiful countryside is in Scotland. And Scotland is wild,
It's
and it's very,
Yeah.
it's unheld, it's unbound, and it's full of the most extraordinary energies. And London is also, a very precious place because this great teeming bowl of people living in this massive city, generally speaking, quite peacefully.
Yeah, I love it.
I love my city. I'm not as familiar with England, actually, the countryside, but the countryside in England can be quite breathtaking.
Yeah,
You
beautiful.
go up to Yorkshire in the north, or Northumberland, or we were shooting all over those. We shot in Cornwall last year, and I'd never really spent any time in Cornwall, and I just wanted to go and live there. It was so exquisite and
Yeah, yeah.
and still full of character and community, actually. Really
You know what? Might I
beautiful.
suggest a non-scripted show, Emma, where you go around and rediscover England?
There you go.
Yeah.
We're going to produce it. Listen, we're going to pitch it to you. We're going to get in touch with your
think-
You
people.
think we
all
just
have to
did.
come with me.
Yes, I'm a devoted Anglophile. These guys know.
And the sheep go with you and comment on
The sheep
each
come
time.
with,
Oh,
yeah. And then at the
delightful.
end of the show, we eat them.
Yes,
Sure,
of course.
every piece.
Yeah,
And Jason, Jason takes the stomach.
Yeah,
Jason takes the stomach.
You all have to take one particular really and sort of unpleasant part, like the pancreas, and then you invent a really good little recipe just for that.
I'll take the
part.
coat.
Yeah.
I'll
But
take the coat
by the way,
first.
I'm going to put this out there. I'm going to put this out there. There is somebody listening right now, maybe over in the UK, who's going to say like, "This is a great idea," and you are going to get an incoming call.
It is a
about
good idea,
doing,
actually.
right? I would watch the hell.
Yeah, I
out
would
of
watch that,
out of
too.
Emma going through England and discovering
Oh, look at
villages in
this.
different
Yes.
parts.
Oh, look at
different,
these
like
people.
Stanley
Oh,
Tucci in
hello.
Italy.
I can't wait.
I love
I
it.
can't wait.
Yeah.
I'm an EP on
I'll
it
just
already.
go around saying endlessly, "You want some gain?" That was my favourite phrase. You want some gain?
You want more of
That
me?
was
You want more
was
gain?
Jason as he was saying, "You want some gain?" It just sounded so. Oh, yes, I think I do want some gain. Actually.
That's hot podcast
What are you
talk.
going to
Yeah.
suggest next?
Emma, we have taken up too much of your time. It's
at all.
probably been an hour. What an absolute delight to have you here.
That was real fast.
Yeah, that was fast.
That
I
was
hope you
real
get to
fast.
cool off and
It
jump in a
was fast.
pool.
We could have gone on forever. No, I'm literally
Yeah,
going
right?
to go, and I put the blooming scoosher thing on in the garden. I'm going to
Yeah.
go and stand in it now.
Yeah,
I don't think we got to any questions even. On the next time you come on the show, we're actually going to ask you some questions.
on the next SmartLess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was so lovely, guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks
Thanks for being
Thank
here.
you for
Huge
doing
fans.
so much for your time and for everything that you do, and we're just such fans. It's just
Yeah, we
it's
are.
amazing.
Well, right back at you, every single one of you. I love you deeply.
Likewise.
Likewise.
Thank you, my dear. Make sure you pick your kids up off the floor and
Yeah.
pick.
Yeah,
put them-
absolutely. No, they've gone. They've long gone.
Yeah,
Okay,
they've long
fine.
gone.
They're lying face down on the wet lawn.
All right, honey.
Fare thee well.
Thanks, Emma.
Bye.
Bye.
Guys,
Yeah.
Emma Thompson.
Have you seen Remains of the Day?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, I've seen that so many times.
How many films? How many films do you think she's done? I bet she's done.
I don't know, like
65 movies.
Well, what's better than that? How many great films has she done?
I know.
Like so many.
64.
So many incredible performances.
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
just so, and just all, and so different in every genre. It's just
Effortless.
amazing. Yeah.
And I meant it. She is. There's some sort of cheeky little wink always to each one of her characters.
You find her
know?
to be a little cheeky, dude.
It's a bit cheeky.
She's a bit cheeky. No, she also emanates kind of like she's going to take care of me. Like, you know, she's my mom.
Yes.
You know, and I like that. I want her to take care of me. I'm going to send
I
her my
agree with
number.
you.
I mean, think about it. Love Actually.
Oh yeah.
Forgot about that massive hit that everybody's still. It's just, oh God. It's just,
I think you squandered an opportunity there, Will. You really could have gone down an incredible memory lane of parts and movies and stuff, but instead we're fucking talking about Haggis and.
but there was no time
goddamn-
because we were just having a conversation, man. You
We're
know, I'm not
just
here-
visiting, weren't we?
Yeah, we're just having a quick little
We're
visit.
not
weren't we?
journalists.
No.
Yeah, we'll have to have her back.
Yeah. You know, we're just.
Love Actually.
We're just simple guys. You know, we're not very smart. In
Yeah.
fact, we're SmartLess.
Oh,
Oh wow.
So right there, that I was just
Right.
introducing
So, yeah.
a new sign off. Instead of buy,
Okay.
we worked
Yeah.
on
Oh.
some sort of way to just say, yeah, I guess we're just kind of SmartLess.
Yeah.
And then it's over.
but that's the only one you can use. Then you can only say we're
Right, but you got to
SmartLess.
somehow work that into the sentence.
Yeah, but
you
that's
know.
just could just be
But,
like
that came out of this process of us doing that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
a natural progression. If in a way, it's almost you could call it like a byproduct,
product
a
of the show.
byproduct
Bye.
of the show. Bye.
SmartLess.
SmartLess is 100% organic and artisanally handcrafted by Michael Grant Terry, Rob Armjarv, and Bennett Barbago.
SmartLess.